Hello and welcome to the TCF Morning Show. It is Tuesday, January 25th, and this morning I'm joined by Boomy at Boomy TCF on Twitter. I'm Zach Lilia at ZLilia TCF, and the main page is at typical_Chicago. I am Zach Lilia, if anyone was wondering. We'll be talking about the NFL Divisional Round recap. That was one of maybe the most amazing weekends of football, maybe sports. It was all-timer. Bulls are 28-17. They are playing as we speak against the Oklahoma City Thunder. We got Zach LaVine back, Javonte Green, but no DeMar DeRozan. The Blackhawks 15-19-6. They play Monday night at 8 o'clock against the Colorado Avalanche. They are playing a little bit better as of late, but have lost their last two games to the Wild. It's getting a little bit more exciting to watch, but we'll see where that goes. Bears still interviewing for GM and head coaching spots. College basketball update, and we'll end the show like we always do with Boomys Wacky Web Story. If you want to follow us on Facebook or Instagram, just type in Typical Chicago Fans. You will find us on there. Go over to YouTube, type in Typical Chicago Fans, subscribe to the YouTube page. We got our morning shows, podcasts, interviews, food reviews, all on there. We got some fun content coming up here in the next few months. And then if wherever you get your podcast from, type in Typical Chicago Fans. You will find us on there. And like I said, if it's Apple, please subscribe, rate, and review. Unsubscribe, resubscribe. Like I said, if it's anywhere else, just type in Typical Chicago Fans. You will find us anywhere else.
You can also leave a 5-star review on Spotify now. They have added that feature to the podcast section. So make sure that you go and leave a 5-star review on Spotify. You can't do the written reviews, but you can definitely leave a 5-star.
I love that, Boomy. Also, Connect Roasters are our beautiful sponsor. I got it right behind me. You can see the Morale blend. If you want coffee, the greatest coffee I've ever had, go over to connectroasters.com. They have all your coffee needs and even stuff to make the coffee with. It's awesome. They also have merch. I got the hat right here. I got the cup. Ian Hat makes me coffee right here. If you want anything of that sorts, go over to connectroasters.com. Like I said, best coffee I've ever had. And follow them on all social medias. Boomy, how we been?
Man, good. Back to the
well, other than the Packers losing, I'm so sorry about that.
We'll get to that, but life moves on, and it's
that's what I would say.
Conversation, and could be worse. I could cheer for other teams. So,
well, we'll see how we all feel about that. But yeah, it's snowed again. Unfortunately, like I said, we got to talk about the weather every morning. Hey, Boomy, I was thinking about this. This is kind of going to be our way of asking. We got to get Tom Skilling on the show, I think.
Yeah, we've got to start plugging that on getting into his DMs on Twitter and get a hold of Tom, because we're becoming big weather guys, more and more by the week.
Even just a little update at the beginning of the show from him.
Yeah, I'm all in. Tom, I would love I know you're listening. Let us know, man.
Typical Chicago Fans want you on their podcast, please.
Absolutely.
You can actually tell us about what the weather is.
Yeah, because weather makes no sense to me. Like I don't. That's one of the things that I have zero understanding
of. Same, Boomy. Same from me. But let's get right into it. The divisional round recap. It was maybe the best round of football there ever has been. We'll start with the Chiefs beating the Bills 42-36 in overtime. Patrick Mahomes left with 13 seconds on the clock to take his team down to kick a field goal that would end up tying the game. Unbelievable. Boomy.
That was insane.
I do have some news for the people. I didn't watch the second half. I fell asleep by accident. I didn't mean to. I had a long Saturday night. I missed maybe the greatest half of football of all time.
I got your text this morning that you had woken up at like 11:30, and all I could think of was you must have fell asleep for the best. Without a doubt, that was the best football game I think I've ever seen.
Unbelievable.
I mean, the implications on it, I think the two best teams left in the AFC, maybe in the playoffs in general, going into the weekend. And it was everything that was advertised. I mean, it was 25-21 right before the 2-minute mark, and it finished at 42-36. Patrick Mahomes had something like 188 yards after the 2-minute mark in the fourth quarter. It was everything as advertised. And I don't want to sit here and, complain about the overtime rules, but that did really, show that, they do suck, and the NFL needs to change something about that. But at the same time, like the Bills, all they had to do was step up and get one stop, and they couldn't do that. They had to play defense for 13 seconds, and they let one of the best tight ends in the league just skirt right down the middle and go for like.
Well, you
40
say that,
yards
Boomy, but like you said, the two defenses did not play well there in the last 2 minutes of that game.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. If you want to win, you got to step up and play a little deep.
I would like for them maybe to switch to the college rules, but I'm okay with this overtime, especially in the playoffs, because you know what?
Yep.
There's got to be some pride in the defense, and you got to be able to trust your defense if you're in that spot. And unfortunately, the Chiefs got the touchdown and won. But it's not like they started anywhere closer.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it is insane to think that if they just would have kicked that, I think that was what probably takes about 2-3 seconds off the clock. I think that helps a lot.
I agree.
It's insane to think that you have to worry about that, but that's the kind of quarterback that Patrick Mahomes is.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, he's so good, and especially in the playoffs. I mean, we're still only in year 4 of Patrick Mahomes, and he's still.
And the crazy part is, I think Josh Allen is just about as good as Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, and Allen even showed it there late in the fourth quarter, with his legs.
Some of those passes are unbelievable too.
He throws the ball so hard, and he's always been known as a rocket arm. But I mean, he zips it in there, and then, like you said, the ability that he had to scramble on his feet. And I'm not saying he's Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is a different type of rusher. But Josh Allen, I mean, you can't undersell what he did with his feet to keep. I mean, he had like a
size too.
Yeah, he scrambled for a 4th and 8, and it's not like he's got blazing speed, but he knows when to use his speed and when to get in and out of situations, and he just did it very well. And it comes down to who can make the last stop, and unfortunately, that wasn't the Bills. So,
one question before we move on here: do you think the Chiefs are Super Bowl favorites right now? They have to be.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we'll get into some of the other games, but I mean, Kansas City is going to be at home in the AFC.
I would have said the same thing about the Bills too.
Yeah, and especially with Cincinnati getting past Tennessee. Even if Tennessee wins that game, I still don't think Tennessee's the favorite.
I couldn't believe they were the 1 seed.
Yeah, they kind of limped in there, and it took Kansas City having a really bad first 6 weeks of the season to get them into that spot. And I'm not downplaying what Tennessee did late without Derrick Henry, but they really showed on Saturday.
If it really came out what kind of quarterback Ryan Tannehill really is.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Ryan Tannehill.
I hate to be that way. I don't mean to be that guy or whatever, but I think that he's been overrated.
Yeah, I mean, he's ridden the coattails of Derrick Henry the last couple of years.
He's a good quarterback. Not saying that, but you've seen what he did in Miami, and then he had a little bit of success in Tennessee, and then he got the big contract, and now you're kind of stuck with a quarterback like that.
Right, and I mean, he was successful in Tennessee, and he was throwing the ball less than like 20 times a game, and he was.
Well, yeah, that's very true. It's easy to look good when you have Derrick Henry as your running back.
Absolutely. I mean, that's 100% it. I mean, he had weapons this year. I mean, I'm not saying Julio Jones is in his prime, but I mean, he had some weapons that he just could not get the ball to. And I mean, they are who they are, and Ryan Tannehill is who he is. And I think that Cincinnati,
I hate to be this way. A good quarterback is not throwing that interception. You cannot do that.
No, there was a lot of opportunities, but we'll get into that a little bit.
Let's move on to the Rams. They beat the Tampa Bay Bucks 30-27. And really and truthfully, the Rams probably last quarter or so, they didn't seem like they wanted to win the game.
That game had every implication of Tom Brady. I mean, he is what he is, and his career has been what it has been. But like that whole second half just felt like a wild horseshoe up his ass the whole time. I mean, they couldn't do anything.
He had so
wrong.
many chances.
Yeah. And then obviously Cam Akers with 2 fumbles. That kills, and the Rams still hold on at Tampa. I mean, that place was rocking, and the Rams, kind of lucked out there at the end. But, a win's a win, and especially a road playoff win. You don't look at the fact that you were up 21-3. You look at the fact that, you held on and you got the job done.
Odell Beckham playing really well.
Making Cleveland look dumber and dumber by the day.
Matthew Stafford played pretty good.
Yeah.
He didn't lose the game. I think they got a little conservative there at the end when I think they punted. They punted, I think, punted or kicked a field goal in their last 7 possessions, I think.
Yeah, and that's something I wanted to bring up, and I was talking to my dad about this, and we'll talk about the Packers game here in a minute. But when teams get so conservative in the third quarter and early,
you're playing not to lose.
Yeah, and I feel like all it would take is some team that's just like, hey, we're just going to go out and run the same style offense we did in the first half, and don't get conservative. I think you might see a shift in that when teams get up, 21-3. You got to step on someone's throat and not get conservative, and you try to get cute and it doesn't work out, and you damn near lost I think it was 25-3 at one point. I think that was the lead. And they damn near lost that because they just got way too conservative. And,
really,
and I just feel like if you just keep the pedal down.
Bad defense there at the end by Tampa Bay, or that's going to overtime.
Yeah, man.
No, wait, not overtime. No, Tampa Bay wins. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, wait. They kicked a field goal. Right?
Yeah, bad game.
Okay, so yeah, it would have gone to overtime. Sorry.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be crazy if the Rams had back-to-back home games?
Yeah,
because the Super Bowl.
We saw
LA.
that last year. We didn't see back to back, but we saw Tampa Bay hosting a Super Bowl at Tampa Bay.
Yeah, that'd
2 years in a row.
Who would have thought the Rams would be hosting this game?
They're just clicking on all cylinders, man. Like you said, OBJ looks like the OBJ that he was in New York. Cam Akers, he's 9 months off, or not even 9 months, like 7 months off of a torn Achilles tendon.
That's crazy that can happen.
Yeah, that guy's a freak. And Tyler Higbee is playing well at the tight end position, and Matthew Stafford is yet to, remember that he's Matt Stafford at moments. He's getting the job done, and that's really all you can ask right now.
He had a few moments there in that game, but played well, played to win the game.
Yeah, if you can minimize those moments, you're okay.
Yeah.
You just can't let one mistake turn into 4 or 5 mistakes,
Let's move on to the 49ers. They beat the Packers. Both number 1 seeds lose in the divisional round, which I that can't be that rare, but I don't know the last time that happened.
And Zach, we were a weird play away from every single underdog winning.
Yeah, very true.
Here's the deal with the Packers.
I just got to say something first before. I'm not even going to be – I'm a Bears fan, yes, whatever. That's what we're happy the Packers lose. But the way Aaron Rodgers played is
terrible.
Way you've never seen him play.
Yeah, and it's one thing. And the question last year always was the defense, and they shore the defense up. The Packers have had a top 10 defense all year, and they played great in the first half.
Points.
Yes.
Oh, 13, sorry. They gave up 13 points.
They did everything they could. They looked like, Zadarius Smith hasn't played since September 12th and comes out, plays well, gets, some big pressures on Garoppolo. Rashawn Gary, who I thought was going to be a bust there after the first year, comes out and is just an absolute menace on the defensive line.
I'm pretty sure he had a sack.
Yeah, I think he had 2. But then there was even plays where, like, the safeties and cornerbacks were taking such good breaks on balls. They weren't looking at the ball. They were getting there too fast, and the ball was going, like, over their heads. They were still breaking up passes, but there could have been, I think, the broadcasting crew even said there could have been a couple pick sixes if they'd have just had their eye on the ball. The defense did everything it could, and you took arguably one of the best quarterbacks to ever throw a football, and he played his second to worst game of the season outside of the New Orleans game.
And what's how is he only throwing it to Devontae Adams?
He was so tunnel visioned, and we mentioned this.
It was either Devontae Adams or a little pass to Aaron Jones.
5 people caught passes. And I'll give him this. MVS was out. So you still had Randall Cobb. You still had St. Brown. You still had Lazard. Lazard had 1 reception. Mercedes Lewis had 1 reception. And then the other 3 were the 2 running backs, Jones and Dillon. And Adams, 5 guys. And it's because, I mean, there was that play we talked about, one of the worst third down plays I've ever seen Aaron Rodgers run. They had 2 guys. They had a tight end and another receiver open in the middle of the field, 3rd and 22, and he throws it 50 yards into double coverage. That Devontae Adams, there's no
I
chance
think that
he's
was
going to
the
make
worst play of the game.
that game is on Aaron Rodgers, and I'll say it's also on Matt LaFleur. I thought his play calling got way
Special
too
teams.
conservative in the third quarter. Well, obviously special teams, but even when special teams is bad and you give up 13 points with Aaron Rodgers, you should win the game. The play calling got too conservative. They tried to play not to lose instead of playing to win, and Aaron Rodgers played one of his worst playoff games I've ever seen him play. And it's as simple as that. I don't want the guy gone. I'd love him to come back, but I mean, you can't just lay a turd there at the most important part of the season. And he did. It's as simple as that.
It's unbelievable the amount of times they've lost at home.
Yeah. You can't have that in the playoffs. You can't have the quarterback turning into, the old Madden cone tunnel vision on one guy for the whole second half, the whole game.
If you're the Rams, I think you're excited to see the 49ers. Their defense is going to be able to get after Jimmy G. It's in LA. It's not going to be cold.
And Zach, the 49ers won the first 2 games of the season against them.
Yeah,
Hard to beat a team 3 times.
That'll be a fun NFC championship game. We'll have the 49ers going to LA to play the Rams. And then the last game of the divisional round, we had the Bengals beating the Titans 19-16. The losing quarterback got sacked 6 times.
Yeah. No, 9 times.
No, 9 times, sorry.
Yeah, 9 times, and he won the game.
And he won the game. That is unbelievable. The Titans just they were relied on Derrick Henry, which what do you think a guy is going to be like coming back from getting something put in his foot, first of all? He's a running back. It was cold out. And then you have Ryan Tannehill, who showed, yes, I cannot win a game.
Yeah, it's kind of
what I mean?
to,
I'm not saying he can't win a game, but he can't go win you the game. Derrick Henry has always been there to win the game for him.
Yeah. Man, you got to be thinking of that. If you're a Titans fan, like, they did not get Foreman as many touches as they had, and they've been working well with that. But to me, it almost felt like it was a similar situation to the Packers game. When the defense gives up 19 points in the playoffs, you should be able to win that game. 19 points is enough. When the offense doesn't get it done, you can't do that in the playoffs and expect to win.
No, especially at home. You're the number 1 seed.
Yep.
You get that week off, and you go and you lose to the Bengals. And especially with the Packers, you have home field advantage again, and you lose at home. Like, it's just that's tough pill to swallow. But we'll have to see what Aaron Rodgers does. We'll have to see what Tom Brady does. We're going to see what a lot of these guys are doing, because it could be the end of their career. You never know. The next few years, you'll be saying that about both guys. I think Tom Brady
we could be having this conversation.
I think Tom Brady will definitely retire before Aaron Rodgers, but I'm not thinking that Aaron Rodgers is thinking about playing football until he's 45 either.
Yeah, he's got like more, going outside of football. He seems kind of, interests. And with Tom Brady.
With that said, we have Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes that are going to be playing for the next few years.
Joe Burrow.
10 years or so. Joe Burrow. It's going to be fun to see these quarterbacks grow up in a way. But for right now, they are all in the conference championships. And it's going to be like you're going to be seeing Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, and Burrow playing each other for a long time, and that's going to be fun.
Yeah, the only odd man out there is Jimmy Garoppolo, and even he's still not that old. It's not like he's.
It's crazy how he played in that game and won.
Yeah.
But hey, he won the game, so what are you going to do?
Yep.
So we got the Bengals, Chiefs in the AFC Championship game, and the 49ers and Rams in the NFC Championship game. Kansas City will host the AFC game. LA will host the NFC game, and then the Super Bowl will be in LA. So that'd be interesting if it's back-to-back weeks in LA. But let's move on to the Bulls. They are currently beating the Thunder right now in Oklahoma City. They had a back-to-back. They played the Orlando Magic Sunday. lost 114-95, and then they also played the Milwaukee Bucks Friday in Milwaukee and lost 94-90. Um, Zach LaVine, Javonte Green back for the Bulls tonight, but DeMar DeRozan not playing, but because of rest. So really and truthfully, I think with Zach LaVine, Javonte Davis coming back, or Javonte Green coming back, they were like, well, I think we'll be okay with him sitting out, give him a little rest. I think that's a great idea. This Bulls team should be able to win this game without DeMar DeRozan. I think with as much he's been playing lately, with some guys being out, great night for the rest.
Yeah, you got to get those nights every once in a while. Especially,
I'm not the biggest fan of like the load management, but this is like the perfect situation.
No, I mean, we haven't even brought up. I mean, you lose Alex Caruso on Friday night for 6 to 8 weeks, and it's going to be one of those where you've got to just weather the storm. And very fortunately, I mean, I'm trying to look at the glass half full here. They're probably going to get Lonzo Ball, Alex Caruso, and Patrick Williams back around the same time, getting ready for
I heard them talking about this tonight. They said the Lonzo Ball is 6 to 8 weeks for the return. Alex Caruso is a reevaluation in 6 to 8 weeks, so you'll definitely have. I'm just saying. I just heard this, so I was kind of just saying that that Lonzo Ball will definitely be back in 6 to 8 weeks, and then hopefully Caruso is back in that 6 to 8 weeks, and then you also have Patrick Williams, like you said, hopefully going to be back for the playoffs. If they can just weather the storm, you still got Zach LaVine, you got DeMar DeRozan. You still got a team that's been playing well. I know they've lost some games. They lost to Orlando, whatever. They're tough games when they're down a few guys. But I think if they can just get to the playoffs and they can hopefully keep one through 3 or 4 probably.
I feel like there's probably not going to fall lower than 4.
So I hope they can get to that point and then be healthy.
Yeah. That's exactly it, man. And, if you can stay in the top 3 and get some home court advantage, I mean, you find me one team in the East that wants to play a full healthy Bulls as a 3 or 4 seed in the second round. I mean, you're nuts.
I love that statement. That should be on a shirt just like you're wearing, Boomy. That should be on a shirt just like you're wearing. Obvious Shirts. Shout out to Obvious Shirts. Go to obviousshirts.com. Love that shirt. I also have my Obvious Shirt sweatshirt.
Literally the most comfortable T-shirts I think I've ever owned.
Oh, very true. I think I got 4 of them. They're very comfy.
Yeah,
let's move
I know we've
on
said that about some other companies, but man, these are incredible.
Let's move on to the Blackhawks. 15-19-6. They play Monday night at 8 p.m. against the Colorado Avalanche. They're playing better as of late, but like I said, they lost their last 2 games to the Minnesota Wild. They lost 4-3 on Saturday in OT, but they lost 5-1 on Friday at home. So not great, but they've been playing a lot better, especially the way they started the season to be 15-19-6. That's good. Maybe going to be getting around the playoff spot. I don't really know how the NHL playoffs work, but I think that maybe they maybe have a little chance. They're playing better.
Yeah. And I've said this before. It's just there's so much good sports on, and we have talked a million times about how big of a college basketball fan I am. And I'll be honest, man, right now with everything going on around this team, I know it's all in the past and those people are no longer employed, but the way that things went down, a couple months ago, and just the very average performance on the ice, I'd rather watch a good college basketball game than the Blackhawks right now. If that makes me a fair weather fan, then so be it. But I don't know. Like, we watched the game at your house on Saturday, and they're just that. They're just average at damn near everything. I mean, outside of Marc-Andre Fleury, everything is just average, and it's kind of hard to, get a pulse and want to turn on the Bulls game. Like, we're gonna get done recording this, and I'll have the Bulls game on. Like, if it was a Blackhawks game, I can't guarantee that I'd be saying that right now. It's just, when you're not super competitive and you're the definition of, purgatory, hockey purgatory right now, it's hard to get excited for.
Yes, very true. But if you're looking for something to watch, if you got multiple TVs, always turn the Blackhawks on.
It's a good third TV filler right now.
Very true. but it's going to be tough to get to the playoffs. But hopefully they can help a little fun at the end of the season, at least. Be exciting to watch. The Bears still interviewing for GM and head coaching spots. Jim Caldwell, I do not like to hear that name. I don't know. I don't know what to think. They're interviewing so many different people, and then they're doing second interviews now, and just hire the GM, and then we'll figure everything else out.
Everything just kind of feels ass backwards here.
They're
bringing coaches in for second interviews, and I don't think they've had a second interview.
What do you think if you're a coach and you sit down for an interview and they're like, well, what's the GM? Well, we don't know yet.
Yeah, and not even that. Like, they're bringing Leslie Frazier in for a second interview, but not Brian Dable. And I think if you watch that game on Sunday, it's pretty apparent,
Yeah.
Who's the coordinator. You know what, Boomy? Probably be going.
Don't ever think that they know what's going on.
Yeah, that's a valid point, man. And it's just obviously, looking from the outside, it just seems so backwards right now, and I can completely understand why Bears fans are pissed. I don't blame them, because you could possibly go high, even if you go and hire, say Brian Dable or whatever, and maybe they bring in a GM who does not see things, because I think Dable and Fields would be a really nice combination. Obviously, what he's done with Josh Allen. But if they're not seeing eye to eye with the GM, then what's the point? He's not going to bring in guys that fit that system anyway. It feels like the Bears are missing the point of getting rid of. If you're going to do this, then you might as well just kept Nagy and Pace.
That's a pretty true statement there, but we don't like to hear that from Packers fans, but you're actually kind of right. Boomy, you got a little college basketball update for us?
Sure do. Just want to go through the top 5 in the AP top 25. Not a whole lot has changed. Gonzaga's back at number 1. Auburn 2, Arizona 3, Purdue 4, and Baylor 5. Duke right on the outside looking in. But there's some big games this week tonight. Monday night. Texas Tech at Kansas. And we've got a couple other top 25 matchups. If you're not doing anything tonight, Tuesday night, make sure you get to a TV at 6 o'clock. Michigan State at Illinois. That is a game of the week that I'm looking forward to. Illinois, I don't know what's going to happen because Andre Corbello, he did not practice yesterday. He has the flu. So we'll see. Corbello's kind of a game time decision on that one. Michigan State's playing pretty well. I think that could be a big game for both of them. Also Tuesday night tonight, Arizona, number 3 Arizona, 14-1. I saw them at Illinois in early December. They are very, very talented and very deep. They go to UCLA at 10 o'clock. So if you need a nightcap, there's one for you. Wednesday, going to the Big East, we got Providence and Xavier, the 21 and 20th ranked teams in the country. Also, if you are in Chicago and you are looking for some college hoops, get yourself to a Loyola game. They're ranked 22nd in the country. They got some big games this week. They're on the road on Thursday at Southern. But make sure you get the Ramblers on your TV. They're playing really well here lately. And then obviously Saturday is loaded with some good games. Trying to look. I think there's Friday night we got Tennessee and Texas. And nope, that is Saturday. So some big top 25 matchups as we've talked. Teams are jockeying in their conferences right now. So make sure if you're like me and you're not super keen about checking out a Blackhawks game, there's some really good college basketball games every night this week, and some teams that are fringe top 25 and mid majors. But that Illinois Michigan State game on Tuesday is going to be incredible, I think.
Especially with no football on Saturday, you have a lot more time to watch college basketball. There's a lot of games going on. But Boomy, you got a wacky web story to end the show here.
I sure do, Zach. And we've talked about people kind of going bananas here over COVID and people just kind of doing things out of the ordinary. Well, an 18-year-old man in Miami has been accused of impersonating a corrections officer while talking to staff members at a Miami high school. Police have arrested this kid who basically he had a Miami-Dade County Corrections and Rehabilitation Department jacket and traffic vest on and was just walking around the Miami Palmetto Senior High School around 1 p.m. last Thursday. And they were like, this kid doesn't really look familiar. Like he was saying he was a security guard, but he had the county jail jacket on. They're like, something's not adding up. And sure enough, he was just there impersonating a security guard for the high school. He told everyone that he had just been hired by the corrections department and would be attending the academy soon. And the school had no information on this. They didn't know who this kid was. So this kid just dressed up as a cop and went to run security at the high school. So he was also arrested for trespassing on school property with a firearm, unlawfully possessing a stolen debit and credit card, burglary, and unlawful use of a police badge. So, maybe
that's not good.
he clearly wants to be a cop of some sort, but make sure you go through the right loopholes before you do that, because you're going to get arrested for felony accounts. So no more being a cop for him, even if it's, down the right path.
Yeah, that's not a good way to start your career as one, to be a cop.
Not the best way to jump your law enforcement career off.
No, not at all. But Boomy, this has been the TCF Morning Show, Tuesday, January 25th. Thank you for joining me this morning. You can follow Boomy at BoomyTCF on Twitter. I am Zach Lilia at ZLilia TCF. The main page is at typical_Chicago. Facebook and Instagram, just type in Typical Chicago Fans. You will find us on there. Go over to the YouTube page, Typical Chicago Fans. Subscribe to the YouTube page. Morning shows, podcasts, interviews, food reviews, all on there. Then wherever you get your podcast from, type in Typical Chicago Fans. We will be on there. Boomy said Spotify's got comments now, so leave a comment, leave a 5-star rating on there.
Just 5-star reviews.
Oh, just 5-star ratings.
No comments. Yeah.
Don't comment. 5-star rating.
Don't comment. You can't.
And then shout out to Connect Roasters. Go over to connectroasters.com for the best coffee out there. They have merch too, and they also have things that you can make coffee with. And they also have the Morale Blend. Make sure you go get that to start your day off. connectroasters.com. Follow them on all social medias. Anything else, Boomy?
Hey, it's about to get cold this week. Stay warm, but let's have a great week. Tune into some Bulls and some college hoops, and let's just have a good week staying warm inside.
Let's go. This has been the TCF Morning Show, Tuesday, January 25th. We love you all.
Peace.